Okay, so now let's go.
All right. What is your name?
My name is Travis Mayfield.
Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I was being drafted, so I ended up
Videotaping
enlisting.
your at-bats?
Where were you living at the time?
I was living in Long Beach, California.
Why did you join?
I was forced to join. My dad made me join.
Why did you pick the service branch you joined?
I went into the Army, and then I decided to go airborne, so I ended up with the 101st Airborne.
Which war did you serve in?
Vietnam.
Where exactly did you go?
I was in Saigon, Dak To, and Duc Pho.
Do you remember arriving and what was it like?
Arriving there, I was scared to death. I didn't know anybody, and so it was a very scary situation.
What was your job/assignment?
My job, once I got there, I worked strictly demolition, which means I had to work booby trap mines. I was the guy that would disarm them, and I worked a lot of point in the battalion.
Did you see combat?
Yes.
Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Purple Heart.
How did you get them?
I was wounded. I worked demolition. I came across a booby trap mine. I had disarmed the mine, and in doing so, it blew my fingers off my right hand. And then after the helicopter finally came and got me, we got shot down in our helicopter. I had shrapnel in my eyes and my stomach.
How did you stay in touch with your family? Or did you stay in touch with your family?
The Red Cross finally had to come get me to deal with my parents because I never wrote to them. They never knew what happened to me, and so they were pretty upset with me.
What was the food like?
I ate mostly sea rations. You carry that in the boonies, in the field, and they had like saltpeter pills that you would take in your canteens, and that was it.
Did you feel pressure or stress?
No, once you're in there with a bunch of guys, you're trained to do a job, and that's what we did.
Was there something special you did for good luck?
I prayed.
How did people entertain themselves?
They just wanted to survive.
Where did you travel while in the service?
I started off at Fort, Northern California, Fort Ord. Then I went back to Georgia. I did my jump school at Fort Benning, Georgia. And then I went to Fort Gordon, Georgia, where I did jungle training. I trained in the jungles for 6 months. They put you in the field there with nothing to eat or anything, had to live off the land. And then I went to Vietnam, and then I went to Tokyo. That's where they ended up doing their operations on.
Do you have any photographs of the war?
None. I lost everything after I was shot.
Did you keep a personal diary?
No.
Do you recall the day your service ended?
The day it ended, not really. I just remember the date that I got shot, which was August the 9th, 1968.
Do you remember where you were when your service ended?
I was at Travis Air Force Base.
Was your education supported by the GI Bill?
Yes.
Did you make any close friendships while in the service?
Not really. You didn't get close to people. I got separated from my company back in Georgia, and there were only 2 of us out of our battalion that went to Vietnam, and I was one of the 2.
Did you join a veterans organization?
I have now.
What veterans organization have you joined?
It's the one located over here at Newport Beach, Veterans Administration.
What did you go on to do as a career after the war?
I did all kinds of different jobs, and I didn't like any of them. I got one in a position where I couldn't pay my rent. I made a deal with the manager to keep me on the property, and I told him I would clean their toilets, pick up trash, whatever I could do. They hired me. I liked the industry, so I spent 35 years in property management.
Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
The military is one of the best things that can happen to an individual. You learn a lot about life, you learn about people, and I highly recommend it to anybody.
How did your service and experiences affect your life?
I don't think I would have done what I do today, which I own 4 businesses right now, so I'm very active in what I do. But it's a lot of this I attribute to the military experience.
Is there anything you would like to add that we have not covered in this interview?
I believe that all kids from high school, that they should have a clear understanding of what their country is all about, and they should give at least 2 years of their life to the country. And then they can decide what they want to do from there. I've seen a lot of children that don't have any military background, and I think it's a shame.
Thank you.
Wait, no. Have him show his.
Yeah.
No, turn it this way. You can't see it that way. And what's your nickname?
My nickname is the Claw. a lot of people call me Three Dog. It's very interesting in the service because I had actually lost 3 fingers. They sewed the middle one back on. These 2 were completely gone. I had to have operations on both my eyes with shrapnel, and I was hit in the stomach. Actually, I almost lost my nuts. Do you have
1 or 2 Purple Hearts?
I have 1 Purple Heart.
So they didn't give you another one after they shot down the helicopter?
No, sir.
It's terrible.
Thanks.
Thanks, Travis,
You're welcome.
for everything.